Hi there, and these comments are to one of my students in the English language program at California State University, San Bernardino. I'm going to go over the writing practice test in the advanced TOEFL class that you completed. I'm going to go over that particular test. Now, as you know, I'm also the founder, owner, and the materials writer for OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com, and I also have a Better TOEFL Scores blog where I post free, high-quality TOEFL lessons every week. So you're answering this prompt. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Teachers should be paid according to how much their students learn. Give reasons and examples to support your opinion. So I just read your essay. Thank you for doing this assignment, by the way. I'm giving you a score of 3.5 out of 5, 22 points out of 30. Right? I think in the Blackboard, this translates into a 82% on the assignment, at least in our course. Okay, so according to the actual rubrics here, these are some modified rubrics from ETS. I think in this case, you have unity, progression, and coherence. However, sometimes it's difficult to understand the connection of your ideas. I think you can probably improve your topic sentences a little bit more here. You have some problems with sentence formation and word choice that maybe sometimes makes your ideas and meaning a little bit unclear. Okay, so that's why I scored it the way I did. There's a quote that says, hearing is good, seeing is better, but doing is best. And what you did is you actually just did this assignment. You completed the writing practice test. You're working on developing introduction with a good thesis, with a focused, clearly marked topic sentences in the body paragraphs, and using specific examples in each of those paragraphs to illustrate your ideas. So what I'm going to do now is do error correction. So I didn't give you 5 out of 5, which is 30 out of 30 points. So this is what's called the edited version of your writing practice test. So I'm going to show you what you can do so that you can get a score of 5.5 or 5.0 out of 5 or 30 out of 30 points. Okay, let's take a look at the introduction. And as I go, I will make changes. And I'll explain why I might make any of the changes I'm making. So you say teaching is one of the most difficult jobs in our society, I'm going to say. Because not everybody has to teach. It says, in fact, teachers have to deal with and teach. I'm going to put it here. A countless number of students. Or how about countless numbers ? Okay. Let's probably say this. Without a doubt. And instead of those 3 words, I'm going to substitute and say this. Sometimes it's better to use 1 word instead of 3. Undoubtedly, teachers do many tasks, not just in their workplaces, but also in their homes. For example, teaching courses, writing exams, answering students' questions. Okay, how about this? So instead of, for example, let's just use the colon here. This shows, and that way what you actually had was a fragment. You put a period in it, for example, teaching courses, writing exams, answering students' questions. So that was a fragment, but if you put the colon and then you use these 3 ideas, you no longer have a problem answering students' questions. In fact, all these tasks require effort, need effort. And I'm going to combine these two, and I'm going to say comma, so. You want to be careful you're not using too many short sentences. So in fact, all these tasks need effort, so teachers deserve, how about, I'm going to say living wages. And I think you're already saying here all these tasks need effort, right? In fact, all these tasks need effort, so teachers deserve living wages. Consequently. Maybe put a period here and then say this. Consequently, I disagree that teachers Okay, so we have consequently, I disagree that teachers' income should be based on student learning because this is a little awkward because I would just say this, like this. You can put maybe if you want, you can put one here, has many tasks to do besides teaching students, and maybe two, some students are neglectful. Neglectful, careless kind of means the same thing, right? So you don't need to say that twice. So I think we're good. So we had a few problems kind of phrasing the thesis, some grammatical issues, but consequently, I disagree that teachers' income should be based on student learning because one, teachers have many tasks to do besides teaching students, and two, some students are neglectful. So that's a pretty good introduction, right? And your intro is about 90 words, so that's a pretty good way to set things up. Okay, so it says, in terms of the first reason, teachers do not only teach students, but also they have other tasks to achieve, other tasks that they must achieve, right? So you have a few grammatical errors in there. Okay, so how about just say first? Can get rid of this. We'll say something like this. Have other tasks that they must. Now notice when you're using modals, you don't want to put an infinitive, at least a infinitive after it. You want to put either what's called a bare infinitive or the base form of the verb. So what I did is I made a slight change here to connect this a little bit better to the actual writing prompt, which is why I use this idea here. Because if I look at the actual writing prompt, teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn, and that topic sentence kind of restates part of that. So there's a little bit better connection of ideas there. So first, teachers' pay should not be based on how much their students learn. Since these educators, actually, if we say this, we don't have to say they, since these educators have other tasks that they must achieve. To illustrate, my big sister Sarah, and I'm going to say here, who has been a math teacher since 2005, and then get rid of this. Or how about this? Get rid of teaches students daily from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, what did I do here? So I used the word who has been, right? And I use the present perfect tense because you use since plus the time here. So who has been a math teacher since 2005. And then we put teaches students daily, so we're using the simple present here to talk about a habitual action. That's why I rewrote this the way that I did. After finishing the school, I'm going to put when she goes. After finishing school, when she goes home, she has to prepare for, you put there, no, you want to say her, right? So this is called a pronoun agreement shift. So we want to put for her next classes for tomorrow. She has to prepare for her next classes for tomorrow. She has to write exams, correct prior exams, answer emails, and help her students. So I think we're having some parallel structure problems here. So I think we need to end that sentence. We'll say after finishing school, when she goes home, she has to prepare for her classes. Has to prepare for her next classes. I'm going to put here by. I think this will work. By writing exams, correcting prior exams, answering emails, and helping her students via her online platform. To be honest, all these tasks need a lot of time and concentration. How about this? Demand a lot of time and concentration for my sister demand, how about this? How about, to be honest, all these tasks demand an additional maybe 10 to 25 hours of outside preparation and concentration. So for my sister to accomplish, so that she keeps all her classes, how about operating in an orderly timely fashion. You miss it, for instance, in many cases, Sarah is able to receive and grade her students' assignments then back in as few one-week turnaround time. So I'm just giving you a little bit more specifics in there. This is a good paragraph, by the way. I'm just adding something in there. So how about... Okay, I think we have it. So as a result, she deserves a good pay due to all of her time consuming and diligent efforts. I don't think we really need this. Once you say that deserves a good pay, I think that's enough. So let's see what it says. First, teachers' pay should not be based on how much their students learn, since these educators have other tasks that they must achieve. To illustrate, my big sister, Sarah, who has been a math teacher since 2005, teaches students daily from 7 to 2 p.m. After finishing school, when she goes home, she has to prepare for her next classes by writing exams, correcting prior exams, answering emails, and helping her students via her online platform. To be honest, all these tasks demand an additional 10 to 25 hours of outside preparation and concentration. How about, say, weekly, for my sister to accomplish, so that she keeps all her classes operating in an orderly and timely fashion. For instance, in many cases, Sarah is able to receive and grade her students' assignments and hand them back to her classes in as few as a 1-week turnaround time. As a result, she deserves a good pay due to all of her time-consuming and diligent efforts. Okay, so this is pretty good. So we have this paragraph. First paragraph is looking good, so we made a few changes here. The next step is, I think we need a little bit better topic sentence here, one that connects back to the writing prompt, and it also includes these key words here. So I'm taking the topic sentence that you wrote and I'm changing it to say this. Second, some students who are not willing to learn are neglectful. So it would be unfair to pay teachers when you can put here, these students do not perform well on tests. Now this is one of the reasons I scored you a little bit lower, because your grammar problems are affecting the meaning. I'll show you how. You said there are some students who are neglected is different. They're neglected by their parents, maybe. That has a different meaning than saying neglectful. If you say there are some students who are neglectful, that means that they're not willing to learn. They don't want to learn. So I think that you probably meant to say neglectful, and that actually changes the meaning. Okay, so then let's do this. I'm going to go to Let's go to your example now. This is probably good enough. You say, for example, when I was in high school, I had such a great biology teacher. Again, that teacher. No. Who adeptly explained. But you have extremely excellent. These are very weak vocabulary words, both of these here. So if you change it to who adeptly explained, and then we can get rid of the course material to us. And then you want to put a period here, put in addition. She always came on time. She never, you can't say never been absenting. Absenting is not really a verb, so she never was absent from class. And she always helped us how about review for our tests and exams? So even though this teacher, this is word order issues. Even though this teacher had all these good attributes, and then put a comma here, my classmate Rawan was careless. For instance, Rawan did not like the school, was not interested in studying. Therefore, Rawan always got poor scores. I would put on her exams. In fact, Rawan got bad scores not because you can put this example proves that Rawan got bad scores not because a teacher was weak, but because Rawan was careless and did not study for a test. Although teachers teach their students, although many teachers teach their students, how about, let's say, competently. So although many teachers teach their students competently, there are a handful of students who do not want to learn. Therefore, teachers should not be punished for those underperforming Okay, I think we have it. So we have this paragraph kind of all set up here. So look at this. So we got about 100, 150, 170 words. So your strategy was you only brought up 2 reasons, right? So then I told you if you did 2 reasons instead of 3, and you don't have 3 body paragraphs, you have 2, but you're really developing each of these body paragraphs, which is a good strategy. Okay, let's look at it one more time. So we have second, some students who are not willing to learn are neglectful, so it would be unfair to pay teachers when these students do not perform well on tests. For example, when I was in high school. I had I had a skillful, how about, I had a skillful biology teacher who adeptly explained the course material to us. In addition, she always came on time, she never was absent in any class, and she always helped review. She helped maybe us review for our tests and exams. Even though this teacher had all these good attributes, my classmate Rowan was careless. For instance, Rowan did not like the school, was not interested in studying. Therefore, Rowan always got poor scores on her exams. This example therefore proves that Rowan got bad scores not because the teacher was, how about, not because the teacher was unskilled, but because Rowan was careless, did not study for a test. Although many teachers teach their students competently, there are a handful of students who do not want to learn. Therefore, teachers should not be punished for those underperforming students who are unwilling to learn. So I think we're good. So we have this, and both of these paragraphs, they directly connect back to the thesis that we have here. Okay, in our final paragraph, we have, to sum up, teachers deserve an appropriate salary regardless, you want to say here, regardless of how much their students learn, because teachers, how about, perform additional time-consuming duties they do additional duties in addition to their first duty, teaching students. Teachers perform additional duties or perform they perform difficult duties in addition to their first duty, teaching students. Moreover, it is not fair to, you want to say here, pay, not paid. So when using infinitive, you have to use the base form of the verb there. So moreover, it is not fair to pay teachers according to how much their students learn, because, and I would just put here, because some students, even though their teachers are good, you might maybe put a comma here. Some students, even though their teachers do not care about studying, even though their teachers are proficient. So yeah, be careful about using a lot of those simple, really words like good, excellent. They really don't do a lot. So even though their teachers are proficient, do not care about studying. Due to these above reasons, I absolutely do not agree with the statement. So you can kind of end it like that. So I think that's it. So what I did is if you make the changes that I showed you in this video, and you do have some pretty serious problems with grammar and sentence structure, you have to minimize those things if you want to score higher. And that's why I gave you the score that I did. All right, and now thank you for doing the writing practice test. And in the next part of the video, I want to go over some lessons at my online TOEFL course website that I want you to study to help improve. So based on my editing suggestions of your different paragraphs in your essay, I'm looking at my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I want to go over some specific lessons that I think can help you. I'm going to look into I think the vocabulary also. You're a little bit weak with the vocabulary words that you use, so I think you need to improve on that. So let's take a look at some lessons here. I think you need a little bit better college level vocabulary. This is definitely going to help you. So lesson number 4, I really suggest you work on learning those words on this list. And then lesson number 5, the vocabulary list of E through P. And then lesson number 6 is the vocabulary words for P through Z. That's my first suggestion, is work. And I know that you're doing a lot of vocabulary practice in the classes you're taking right now, but I think you need to even go beyond that and work on your vocabulary so you have a little bit better range of words. Okay, now let's go to the pronunciation part of my course. Okay, no, the grammar part of my course. If anything stands out, I'm going to say it, because based on the corrections I made, I think that you can work a little bit on sentences with appositives. Lesson number 4, that's a good one for you. I think you can do better with sentences with adjective clauses. Lesson number 6. I think you should review that in lesson 6.1. I think that would be very helpful for you. What else here? I think lesson number 9, learning how to write sentences with multiple clauses and making sure your subjects and your verbs are all straight. Lesson 9. Parallel structure, lesson 14. I think that's a good lesson for you. I think you had some problems with verb tenses. I think lesson number 17.2, simple past, past perfect, simple present, and present perfect verb tenses. Review that particular lesson. I think lesson 24, gerunds and infinitives, that's also a lesson that you should take a look at. Lesson 25, comma splices, run-on sentences and fragments. I think that's a good one. And I think that's it for the grammar. So let's go to the writing part of the course. Generally, you have the idea. You know how to develop your ideas. So let me look at this one. I think you can work on topic sentences. So lesson 5.2, one simple trick to improve topic sentences. Check out that lesson. And then I think lesson 5.6, writing the perfect paragraph. And I think that will help you also. And I think that's just about it. Thank you for doing this independent writing practice test to help prepare for the TOEFL writing section. Now you know there's a few things that you can do. You can improve vocabulary a little bit more. You can improve your grammar a little bit more. And you can also improve your writing skills. So if you make changes in these 3 areas, you definitely can improve your writing. So be patient. It takes time. But I really believe that with practice, you will continue to improve your writing. And again, thank you for doing this practice test.